experience. And if you think about it, it's during evaluation that everybody benefits. The speaker, the evaluator, as well as the audience. The speaker gets information of how well he did. The evaluator is forced to listen carefully and in a few minutes write a report addressing the key issues of the speaking performance. And the listeners, the audience, also can judge themselves against the evaluator if they agree with the evaluation or not, if he missed out things, if they have a better evaluation than him. So everybody benefits. The main purpose of the evaluation is to provide feedback, as we all know, as our Toastmaster has already said, and comments, constructive comments, on how the speaker can improve his next speaking project. We are there to offer improvements, concrete and specific improvements for doing better at various subjects. The manual says we build self-esteem. Self-esteem is a very, very high-sounding concept. I prefer self-confidence because that's much more practical and much more easy for everybody to understand. So through our evaluations, we aim to build the confidence, and through building confidence, I'm sure we also help our speaker improve his self-esteem. So, with very, very few exceptions, evaluations are speeches of 2 to 2.5 minutes, and if they are given by the evaluator more or less directly to the speaker, and the speaker is forced to listen and take note of the evaluator's comments. There's no interruptions except in specific and very few cases of very special speeches. No interruptions from the audience. So we economize on time, we don't waste the time of the meeting, and we maximize communication level between evaluator, speaker, and audience during that 2 to 2.5 minutes performance. That is why the headquarters and all clubs reserve the role of the evaluator for slightly experienced members. It is not advisable to be asked to evaluate before you yourselves have delivered 3 or 4 speeches. And that has been the practice in our club, anyway, for as long back as I can remember. Now, let's look at the nitty-gritty of performing an evaluation. The task of the evaluator begins before coming to the meeting. Not only he has to read and understand the objectives of the speech project which the speaker is giving, but it is also advisable to call him ahead of time and discuss with him any evaluation guides or concerns, the objectives of the evaluation of the speech, and any concerns that the speaker may have. Now, I have to admit that I haven't been doing that extensively not an excuse. We have to try to do it. The only excuse is that the program is not circulated in course of time, so as to have the time to communicate. We should try to have more time of knowing who will be evaluator and who will be the speaker, so that the two can exchange a phone call and discuss the speaking project. So, during the speech, the first thing that the evaluator should not do is, fall asleep, is not be seen to be attentive to the speaker's delivery. We should maintain eye contact with the speaker throughout the speech. That gives the speaker some support. Now, he should also be taking some notes. During taking some notes, of course, he can break the eye contact. Why I say that he should be taking some notes? Because it's not an easy job evaluating. And when you hear a speech of 7 minutes, there are things that you want to remember to give in your 2 minutes feedback session, and may not be able to remember everything unless you take a few notes during that 7 minutes. So do that as well. When you are preparing and when you deliver your evaluation, you must choose your words very, very carefully. And that is a very important part of the training of an evaluator, because it's a fine line between giving constructive and helpful feedback and putting the other person down. That's not what we are supposed to do. So you don't use words like you should have. You are not in any way didactic. You are supportive. You don't say, I'm sorry, but you have failed to convince me. No. There's words to use that are showing empathy to the speaker and building the confidence between the evaluator and the speaker. And these are, I suggest that you may want to follow this line next time. Or you could have put it in a different way that would have been more effective and more appealing to your audience. So choose your words very, very carefully. It is always useful to give an evaluation of the whole performance. And you could start by saying, looking at the speaker go up to the podium, I have already built up an expectation. Or, of course, if that was not the case, you could say that looking at the speaker go to the podium, I had my reservations as to how the speech will go. And then you make a comment about what you heard from him. You could say, that was the case, the first minute and a half of your speech was a little subdued. But then you blossomed and you flowered and you got into the stride. And finally, I felt that you have completed what you were supposed to do and you have been successful. By saying, by giving your imagination on these three, looking, listening, and feeling, you pass messages to the audience and to the speaker about how you should be doing next time. Evaluate the speech, not the person. Of course, that is goes without saying. We don't care what his views are or whatever it's politics or religions, beliefs or none are, but what he said during the speech. And again, promote confidence and self. You should be looking out for the improvements that he has achieved from his last speech. Because you've been there before, maybe you were not his evaluator, but you followed 2 or 3 speeches by this fellow. If he has improved on a weakness that he had in his first and second speech, then do mention it. Praise him for it. Or of course you could say, you are doing very well. There is still the issue of reading too much from your notes or whatever that you should address at the next speech. And always end your evaluations on a positive note. We stress that we are positive and we are encouraging and so on. But Toastmasters is not a mutual appreciation club. We are not here to pat each other on the back. That is a major disservice to our fellow members. It's counterproductive. So keep the balance. Encouragement, yes, but we are here to cure the weaknesses, to put things right, and to see substantial improvement from speech to speech. I think these comments refer to me rather than to the evaluator. So remember that like all speeches, evaluations have a beginning, a main body, and an end. And you should allocate the timing, your time between these 3 sections in a balanced way. Do give personal examples if you can in those 2.5 minutes. I have 15 minutes, so I can give you a personal example. Very many years ago, somebody was giving his icebreaker and I was his evaluator. He was also an amateur athlete, and he ran 400 or 800 yards, meters, I don't remember what. And he mentioned during his icebreaker that at a crucial sports meeting, he tripped and fell. And I said, and I still remember that so many years since, you've come to the right place, my friend. Here is where you will trip, and there will be 30 people around to pick you up and set you on your course yet again. This is what Toastmasters evaluation is all about.